I'm George Flinn, and you're watching In-Depth TV. Today we're going to talk about something fun for you, and, well, let's get into it. I think you're going to really enjoy this. A lot of people say, well, I'm a morning person, or I'm an evening person, or I'm a midday person. Which are you? Are you a morning person? Can you wake up full of energy and ready to go? And if you just made a frowning face, well, you're probably not a morning person. But you say, well, I was just born that way. I don't have real energy in the morning. I can do whatever, but I'm not an energetic morning person. It takes me 5 cups of coffee to wake up. Well, let's talk about that. You can actually teach yourself to be a morning person. Yes, I said that correctly. You can teach yourself to be a morning person. You know, there are 2 types of people in the world. There are morning people, and there are not morning people. And morning people, and you may be this, the early hours of the day are the time where you're most productive, you're most happy, you hear the birds chirping, you see the sunlight. And to the rest of us, morning people are strange, and they're weird. But studies have shown that we'd all do a lot better to adopt the habits of the naturally early risers. There have been study after study on this. In 2014, there was a research paper that has shown that morning people tend to be happier. They're more conscientious, they're nicer, they're more productive, and less prone to depression than their counterparts who are the ones that keep hitting the snooze button in the morning. Well, if that's you, either one of them, there's hope. By the way, morning people in school, sorry to tell you this, they achieve better grades also. So it's not the simplest thing to transform yourself from a night owl to an early riser, but there are a few very simple steps, a few very simple things you can do to make waking up a much easier and happier experience. Well, don't be surprised, but the mood you're in when you wake up has a lot to do with your sleep. That's right. And the mood you're in when you wake up sort of sets the tone for the entire day. And there's a list, and you'll probably notice a central general trend of this list, but it means good sleep equals good waking up. So there are about 5 or 6 ways, maybe even 7, that can ensure that you have, when it rolls out of bed, you'll be ready to face the world. Now, I've learned these from experience, from a little bit of research, and I just want to share them with you. First thing, go to bed early. Well, let me tell you, you're not going to be real happy waking up if you're not getting enough sleep. The National Science Foundation recommends adults between ages of 18 and 64 get 7 to 9 hours of sleep every night. Did you hear it? And you that say, I only sleep 5 hours or only sleep 3 hours a night, you're not doing your body very good. It's not good for you. So if you're between 18 and 64, 7 to 9 hours sleep every night. It's also important that you get good sleep. So good sleep means, I'm going to tell you this, limit your caffeine intake in the evenings and avoid any overstimulation. Now, overstimulation through television or checking emails and, all of that stuff in the hours leading up to bedtime. You might consider turning off your electronics before you go to bed. And you say, oh no, I can't turn off my electronics. Well, the absence of light is essential to our brains when we go to sleep. And The presence of light should be when we're awake. Simply, darkness means it's time to sleep. And light means it's time to wake up. And here comes the real kicker. There are all kind of studies that have shown that the light coming off of screens, telephone screens, iPad screens, whatever kind of tablet screens, the light coming off of those, including televisions, is enough to disrupt your natural rhythm of sleep and wakefulness. So put away your electronics. Yes, I said put them away. I know. Put them away about an hour before you go to bed. You say, well, what do? How about doing this? Get a good book. Get a good book instead. You'll sleep better and wake up happier. Now you say, well, I just don't know if I can do that. Here's what I want you to do. Try it. Just for a day or two, maybe even a week. Try it. If you don't wake up happier and have more energy, don't do it anymore. See, this is not a lifetime commitment. You just try it and see what happens. One other thing is wake up to sunlight, even if it's artificial sunlight. Darkness helps us fall asleep. Light helps us wake up. We all have our natural internal body clocks that tell us when to sleep and when to wake up. And these rhythms are strongly influenced by light. So having light, natural light, in our bedrooms, as with a sunrise, our brains can start waking us up gradually, slowly, pulling us out of the deep sleep. And remember, this is just your brain chemistry getting going again. Your chemistry, the chemical experiment going on in your brain is kind of in a steady state, slumber state. But then when you wake up, slowly with a light, if you wake up with a gradual light getting a little bit lighter every time, just like the sun does, it'll be less jarring. And we just don't want to experience the buzzing alarm clocks, and you might even begin to wake up on your own. If you have to wake up before sunrise or wintertime or mornings are dark, try an artificial sun clock. There are a lot of people that manufacture these things. And I saw my granddaughter had one, and it's like a ball, and it starts out with a very dim light, and it gets brighter and brighter. And I think you can even program it how long it takes it to get brighter. So as you approach your wake-up time, let's make awakening more natural. Okay, here's another one that you may or may not identify with. Lay off the alcohol. Nothing makes morning more terrible than a raging hangover. But it's not just a hangover that will ruin your morning. Alcohol has a negative impact on the quality of your sleep. There are sleep specialists that talk about alcohol. Even modest amounts can cause people to wake frequently and abruptly throughout the night and actually worsen pre-existing sleep disorders. Alcohol kind of lightens the sleep and suppresses the rapid eye movement type sleep, meaning that if you spend a solid 8 hours in bed, you can still wake up exhausted. Now, not ever drinking and having a hangover, I know what the research says, but you may know better what I'm talking about the alcohol and the whatever it is, the nightcap. That is a farce. That is crazy. That doesn't help you. So one other one, we'll get off of that. So you can take that in and enjoy that knowledge. One other idea is to wake up at the same time every day. Getting up early on weekdays and late on weekends can contribute to morning, what do we call it? Grumpiness. That's right. Getting up early on weekdays, work days, but getting up late on weekends, it mixes you up. So there's sleep research centers, but they say waking up suddenly from a deep sleep produces the worst form of sleep inertia. Now that's when the brain's higher decision-making centers will take several minutes to switch on. It was like that chemical reaction. We got to get the chemistry going, get the water boiling in the head with the chemicals that keep your brain functioning. If you wake up very rapidly, you can't make good decisions, especially in young adults. There's a way to avoid these jarring awakenings. We should try to wake up roughly the same time every day so that our bodies can get into this natural rhythm of a regular wake-up time. There are all kind of cautions that we maintain this wake-up time regardless of when you go to bed. And if you go to bed much later than usual, let your sleep in no more than an extra hour, then take a short nap later. That's better than trying to make up the time by sleeping later. Exercise. There are lots of reasons to exercise, but one real good reason is that you'll wake up actually more rested if you exercise. So people who exercise at least 2.5 hours a week, just a week, have better sleep quality, fall asleep more easily, and report less tiredness during the day than people that don't exercise. Now, we talked about coffee before you go to bed. What about coffee when you wake up? Get the coffee brewing before you wake up. There are all kind of studies out there that talk about the aroma of coffee may have the ability to reduce the negative effects of stress related to sleep deprivation. Coffee makers, they can be programmed. You know this, I know this. They can automatically begin brewing at any set time. You can program your machine to start brewing as you're waking up. The smell of coffee might ease your transition from sleep into wakefulness. If not, at least you've got a cup of coffee that's hot and ready for you. And I hope you have enjoyed learning more about sleep, because that is so essential. Make sure, these are just little extras for you, make sure you have a good mattress. Make sure you're able to have a good mattress and keep the room temperature at just a little cooler than you expect. Keep covers on you, of course, but make sure you have a nice mattress, a comfortable place to sleep, not a lot of loud noises going on, and just make sure that you're taking care of yourself. You take care of everybody else all the time. Occasionally, and I'm talking about every night, you should take care of yourself so that you have the energy, have the mood, have the disposition where you can take care of other people also. So taking care of yourself in this manner is not selfish. It's actually a way for you to give better service to everyone else in your life. I'm George Flinn. You've been watching In-Depth TV. I appreciate it.